Are you feeling stuck, or are you battling with a lot of self-criticism? Or let's say, do you feel some sort of depressive thoughts and you have no valid explanation for why you're having them? If that's what the case is, this video is for you. Hi, this is Bhavish Ahuja from Mind Healing with Bhavish. I am a transformational coach and a therapist, and today we are going to discuss just that. So what I mean by having stuck thoughts or depressive thoughts, or maybe criticism that you have for yourself, there is a possibility that there is anger within you that did not get a chance to flow freely. Now, why it could not get an expression? It could be because of social pressure, it could be because of the shame or guilt. You might think that the family member might not like it, a friend might not appreciate something like this, a partner could leave you. So all you thought was it is better to not express that anger, to hold it within you, and that is what is causing these surface level psychological issues that you might be facing. Now, in order to understand this, let's understand it from an example of a water reservoir or a dam. Imagine a large reservoir, a dam, where a lot of water gets filled up, and it's being filled up for a very, very long time. While this water was reserved for, let's say, generating electricity, it was never allowed to move out. The gates were always shut and the water remained, and we kept pouring water onto it. Can you imagine the kind of pressure onto the walls there would be inside that reservoir, or onto that shut doors? What kind of a pressure there would be? Now, if it finds a tiny crack or a weak point somewhere, the water will just pour out. It will be an outburst. This is the emotion of anger. Anger in itself is like a lot of charge that is getting built up within you when somebody threatens your boundaries, invades or intrudes your personal space. You feel yourself or your loved ones threatened, unsafe for whatever reason, when your value systems or your beliefs are ignored, or let's say violated, or dismissed, or questioned, or threatened. So that is when you feel charge getting built up within you to be able to protect your space. But what if you are unable to express it out? When you are unable to say that this is what my safe space is, do not enter it. That is in that flow, in that charge that got built up for you to take an action. Now you cannot take an action. It is obstructed. That path, that free flow which was supposed to be, now it is obstructed. There is a hindrance to it. You cannot freely flow. It is not like the anger that we usually see when we see people shouting, yelling at each other, maybe hitting somebody. That is not an expression of what we call anger. That is actually repressed anger. Anger that has been repressed or suppressed for a very, very long time. It is an outburst that we see in terms of yelling or shouting at somebody. Anger in itself is a pure expression of love. You cannot get angry for something that you have no emotion for. If you are neutral about some subject, you do not feel the anger. You only feel the anger when something that you love and care for is unsafe, is unprotected. And in order to be able to protect that, the anger gets built up. So in itself, anger is a pure expression of love that can be used constructively. Like, imagine somebody threatens somebody close to you, like your family member or your child. You will get angry, but you will not get angry at them. You will get angry for them. There is a big difference in that. Anger is there only to protect them. And if you were to look at this anger with understanding and love, it transforms itself. It transforms into a beneficial force. It is a force that can be used constructively to create something meaningful. If anger is managed correctly, if it is handled correctly, it would be like if somebody is intruding our space, we say, no, do not get there. This is my personal space. It's as calm as that. But only when it is repressed, when it is suppressed, when it is obstructed, when you are not allowed to express it freely for whatever reason, that is when it becomes an outburst. That is when it becomes wild. And that leads to shouting, yelling, hitting, showing aggressive behavior. Like I said, if you do not allow anger to be able to express freely, if like water, you do not allow it to flow freely, it will find other outlets. it will look for weak points through which it can come out. Anger can go two ways. Either you can externalize it, you can shout and yell at somebody externally onto someone else, or if it goes inside, it internalizes into self-criticism, or maybe having some doubts about yourself, a constant battle within yourself. And that also gets built up. And if somebody from the outside triggers at one point of time, that would be a weak point, that would be a crack through which we will see anger bursting out. And that again would turn into yelling and shouting and whatever that is. So how do we manage this anger so that it doesn't turn itself into other psychological issues, so that we don't have that outburst? There are a few steps that I would like to share with you. Number one is to understand that anger, like any beneficial force, can be transformed into something which is very beneficial. It is a constructive force, and we can use it wisely to make something beautiful out of it. So let's say if you have a lot of rage and anger towards somebody or some situation, and you channelize working out, doing some sort of HIIT exercises, you can transform your body into something. You can transform your physical looks into something really magnificent. Or you could use this force into creating a piece of art that would be vibrant, that would be lifelike. Number two would be, do not judge the anger when it is coming out. See, anger is supposed to be unreasonable. Anger is supposed to be wild. It is supposed to be illogical. Let's say if somebody is bursting out, somebody is in a lot of anger and they're saying something, we cannot expect them to make sense of it. We cannot expect them to use softer or kinder words. Anger, like a flow, is coming out, and it will use whatever it is. It will flow in any direction it wants, because it is wild. It is supposed to be like that, but it does not mean they mean those words that they are saying. In that spur of moment, whatever is coming out, it is because of that wildness of the anger, wildness of that emotion, and it is not personal. It is not because they want to say this. It is not something that they hold on to themselves and they are using the vehicle of anger. Number three, one of the most important things that I continue to talk about in all my coaching sessions, and I'm telling you in this video, do not trust your thinking when you are feeling that emotion of anger. Usually, that emotion of anger will come, and if you allow it to express freely, it will go. But in that moment, there might be thoughts of hurting somebody, doing something bad to somebody. Now, in that spur of moment, you could do something bad. In that rage, there is a possibility that you think about hurting somebody, saying something really bad to them, which eventually the emotion will go. But these things will eventually turn into shame and guilt, and you might have hurt somebody that you never even intended to do so in the first place. So, do not trust your thinking in that moment, and allow for the anger or that emotion to settle down. And then once you have the clarity, then you act upon it. Then you speak your truth out. Number fourth, initial surge or that emotional release can feel a bit intense, and it is okay, especially when it has been repressed for a very, very long time. There might be a question that what do we do practically to be able to manage or handle our anger at the right stage so that it doesn't become a bigger problem? So when it comes to anger, a lot of people think there are only two ways to express that anger. Either you do it to somebody, like shout and yell at somebody, or you don't say anything at all. But there is a safer space in between where you can find the best outlet. Let me suggest something. Take a piece of a paper and write a letter to the source of that anger. It could be an individual, it could be a situation, whatever that is. Write a letter and freely flow onto that paper, as in, do not restrict yourself. It's a safe zone. Nobody is seeing nobody's seeing the content of what is written in that letter. You can go as wild as you can. Even if you have to use abusive words, you have to be using harsh words, what you want to do to them, write it out in that letter. It's like a journaling thing. And when you do that, it surpasses what your logical brain is, and you don't have to think about whether this is right or not. Just it's an outburst onto that paper. It is a projection of your subconscious in a very, very pure format. Now, once you have done that, you will find a lot of relief. So this acts like a whistle on a pressure cooker, where it releases a little bit of steam so that it can stay in a safe zone, There is no accident that happens because of the building up of steam. This is a gateway to emotional freedom. It is a gateway to anger management. It is a gateway for your emotional release. It is emotional intelligence. It is stepping into the realm of your personal growth. I hope you liked this video. This is Bhavish Ahuja from Mind Healing with Bhavish. For more videos like this, you can subscribe to this channel. Until the next video, stay blessed, stay healthy, and catch hold of that wisdom if you can. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.